evening, welcome to Flory Models Live. Here we are with you on Thursday, 7:30, the 11th of June, 2020. Sorry, somebody's in another camera waving and he's being off-putting. I'll stick him on in a minute so you'll get him. Anyway, hello and welcome everybody. We are live across the airways as always. We're only using obviously the Flory Models chat tonight as well. So if you've got any long-winded questions, anything else like that, please post them up into the forum under the today area. So if you've got any questions for us, anything at all you want to talk about, post them up there and then in there. If it's short-winded and when we say now, then post them up into the live chat room and things like that. So good evening to everybody. That's all working fine. Good evening to Nathan.
Hello.
With my posh deck now. All good. How are you? All good? How's your week going?
Doing alright. I've been in work today, which is weird, but yeah, it's been good.
That's it.
Finney, a tornado, as you're probably aware.
Yes, we are. Done a fantastic job on that one. In fact, whilst you're here, talk about yourself, I'll just cue this up very quickly. Hold on, and I'll show the boys and girls literally. So if you're not aware of it, obviously Nathan finished his tornado. It's in the various sections for the builds as well, but also it's got its own little section here on the actual main site as well. So this is the fantastic tornado that Nathan's just finished. The full video build is up in here if you want to get it in here. It is in the forum as well, in the video build section as well, but you can see it's identical to mine as well. So you can see all of those down in there. The only one I haven't put up in here, which I forgot, is I haven't put your bonus section up, Nathan.
Leave that where it is, to be
honest.
Oh, right.
Okay. So, but yes, but no, there he is, the man himself with a tornado after his first video build.
Yeah, that was a learning curve, crikey.
Yes, to be honest, I'm amazed you did a full video build like that off the bat, because as I say, it's a very steep learning curve doing it, but absolutely nailed it. Great job on that one.
Yeah, so the unbuildable kit is built. There you go.
And it looks absolutely lovely as well.
Yeah.
So how many tornadoes you built now?
Oh, well, this kit, I reckon I might be half a dozen now.
Right.
I've only got 2 left in the stash. It feels weird.
Oh my lord. Matt, get him a carton in.
I've
Get him a carton in. Definitely good. Very good. But anyway, that is obviously up on the site right now. So obviously you can go off and see that one, the various bits and pieces to that one as well. So good afternoon, Andy, or evening even.
Evening. Yep.
Very nice. So we've got finished Kafir and the ME262. How's its nose?
Yeah, which I made I don't know whether I've made a mess of the nose or it's just, I don't know. I think it's designed to be open, but I've also probably made a mess of it. So lots of sanding, rescribing, re-riveting, and I think I'm about there now with it. And yeah, it's going together. Well, the wings aren't actually glued on; they're just on. But it's a nice kit generally. Just the nose, which is probably my fault.
So what is wrong with the nose? Why did you change the nose? What's up with it? Just getting it glued in together, or what was wrong?
Well, yeah, it's just the front end didn't seem to go together very well around here.
Mm-hmm.
And lots of clamping and trying to get it right to get the end of the nose and the side bits on right. Just causing me problems. Just wasn't very nice at all. And then when I came to put the gun bay doors on,
mm-hmm.
I've got like gaps with them as well, and I think they're just designed to be open, but could also have been issues that I've caused.
Yes.
But yeah, it's getting there now. Doesn't look too bad.
Very nice indeed. Is that the first time you've done a 262?
Yeah, it is actually. Yeah.
There you go.
Strangely, it was nearly my first and second.
To be honest, that 262 I did is the only one I've ever done.
Yeah.
So no, that's it.
I nearly scrapped this one and bought another one to do it. So
is this where it suddenly changes? Oh look, it's like a new kit.
It's a Tamiya one instead.
Yeah, that's it. It's suddenly turned. It looks very much like the Tamiya kit. It's amazing how close they are, those two kits together. Very good. Okay, and John, how are you?
I'm very well, thank you.
So, because you've just finished your Kafir, so what are you working on now?
Well, yeah, that's the Kafir all done.
When's the box art going on the wall?
It's on the wall. You can't see it though.
Oh, look, you need to move it down a bit next to the hind.
But yeah, no, it didn't turn out too bad in the end. Well, worth it. And now I've started on...
Ooh, Salamander. But you've gone for a decent kit, the Tamiya one.
Yeah.
Oh, I'll tell you, it's terrible. It just falls together. I can't. If anyone had the choice of a Tamiya kit, I can't believe you wouldn't take it
Yeah.
and get something else instead, like a hobby boss.
I know.
He's a real modeler.
Yeah.
Very good. Okie dokie. And we have got, hold on, by the power of television. Hold on. Here he is. Mr. Matt is with us on the
Hello.
backup cam in the
Just in
reserve
case.
staff down in there.
Yeah,
So very nice. And you've been busy building your house
and finishing that.
and finishing that. Very cool.
That's-
Can we have some nice, good photos, please?
Yes, I'm going to take it. I've just unboxed it because I'm going to take it to work tomorrow and take some photos upstairs. So yeah, we'll do, and I'll send them over.
Mhm.
So you can show it. But yeah, that's done, and the house is getting there.
Very nice.
Primed up last night. So yeah, we're cracking on.
Yeah, don't do that. It's going to fall over and flatten something. Very
Yeah.
good indeed. Right, okie dokie. And so, yes, there we all are. Hold on, let me just do that one. As I say, if you've got any questions in that, post them up for. So, as always, the guys have been looking around at the forum and we've come up with some proper corkers. So, first up, which one, who chose this? Who chose the Mustang?
Me. John spotted it as well, but I chose that one, didn't I?
Yes. So, what we've got here is the K version, which is the Airfix 148th. And Tom Cruise owns a K, doesn't he? P51K, and which he flies himself. Very nice indeed. So, what took your eye on this one, apart from it looking gorgeous?
It's just the weather again. It's that weathering and the scheme as well. First thing that catches your eye is a Mustang that's not silver.
Absolutely, and it's got proper markings on it.
Yeah, it's got nice markings. The tail looks good, but then when you look again, really nicely weathered. Nice pictures.
Yes.
Just nice. It just looks good.
I must admit, what I like about this one as well, it's nice because either Mustangs are normally silver or beaten to death, and it's got
Yeah.
nice subtle weathering on this one, like the chipping and that. It's nice. It's not in your face and blinding you, and you know, it's actually one of those just nice subtle ones right the way through. Very, very nice job on that one.
Just a really nice box. It's just nice build. Ticks all the boxes for me, that one.
Very good indeed. So, yes, well done for Grant on that one. Absolutely beautiful. We love that one. Okay, next up we've got, this is the Tamiya Mercedes CLK. Very nice indeed.
Yeah, I just like the scheme on this one,
Yeah, it is
especially
cool.
the bonnet.
Yeah, yes, that's right. Very tasty markings on this one. And again, because obviously decaling, as we all know, is a bit of a pain.
Yeah.
Getting them to go down, even on flat stuff like this, is not easy when they've got to conform over bonnets and things, and you know, around intakes and those types of things on these. So again, very, very nicely done indeed. I'll tell you what I like about this one is we were saying normally you don't get any weathering on them at all. People do them clean. But this one does look like it's just finished after the race, so it's got all that usual rubbing bits and, you know, all the stuff that goes into it, the carbon off the brakes and obviously exhaust and that type of look to it as well.
I've got to say that is stunning.
It is nice, isn't it?
To be honest, if you put a backdrop in the background,
Yeah.
you'd think that was a real Mercedes.
Yeah,
You would, yeah.
it is.
Absolutely
Very nice job on that one. As I say, it normally with, you know, they do look nice when they're just factory fresh and new and glance, but again, it's quite nice when you see like rally cars and touring cars that as they are after the race look. And that's actually a classic one. We were talking the other week, weren't we, about the motorbike which had the weathering on it, which was really nice. And that's another classic example of that one. So very, very nicely. There's that bonnet with the engine detail. Looks like it's peeled.
Oh, brilliant.
Very nice. Very, very nice. God, that makes you feel a bit hey.
Yeah.
Interior. Very good. Cool job on that one. So what I mark, that's a beautiful build on there. Next up we got Jason's done the this is the AFV U-boat, which I must admit I didn't see until about 10 minutes ago because I haven't been on the forum much the last couple of days, and I missed this one going up, and we were talking about water effects and stuff like this, and I think you guys were saying that this is the first to go at it, and I think he's nailed it. Absolutely nailed it.
So just go back up
That is
to the
good.
top floor. What did it say you used for the water? Go down a bit more. Down a bit more. Base styrofoam, aluminium foil, PVA white glue, acrylic artist gloss medium, Tamiya plate, balsa wood, lace wood veneer.
It's tinfoil.
Yeah. What's his name off YouTube does it that way.
Tell you what, it's very good, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, I
I
thought
think
it
that
was.
looks proper good. That is.
That's really
Again, like doing water and trying to get water to one look like water, and to secondly in scale water as well. It must be an absolute nightmare. Like I don't do water at all, well, until I do my water bomber, which might be on the ground or flying in the air with no water. But you know, for me, I must admit, it's like we were talking. Obviously, we speak a lot about it. It's like learning a new skill. Playing with water must be a nightmare because you don't get many chances. It's not that type of thing where you can say, "Oh, I'll do it again," because you've got to take it all apart and redo it again. It's not straightforward. But I like that. I like it a lot. Cue the Das Boat music, you know, that chase scene music where they were going along next to each other.
That is really,
Cracking.
Very, very nice job on that one. Cool. Good. I'd
Nice
say-
photos as well.
I'd say it's nice because again, photographing boats and ships and subs and all things like that, it's really difficult because they are thin and slinky. So trying to get them all in, but that looks absolutely fantastic. Great pictures. Not easy to photograph.
the tones in the water are nice. The blues and the greens. It's really well
Yeah.
done.
Yeah, it does look like the North Atlantic, doesn't it? You know,
It's
Yeah.
not- yeah.
choppy and
Yeah, that's brilliant.
Very, very good. Cool.
So, looks like the weather outside my shed at
Cool.
the minute.
And there you go. Give you a sense of the scale.
yes, it's not a massive model. is
Again,
it?
you wouldn't
know?
realise the scale because until you put the Tamiya top or the penny in the next one, you would never know it's that small. There we go. Look, foil.
Really clever.
Clever. Very clever.
I say because someone mentioned about doing sea weathering, didn't they?
Yeah.
Water last week, and yeah,
No,
Quite
like
easy.
that. Very, very good indeed. Cool.
Here's
Sorry,
an
Alan.
idea for your Catalina.
Yes, they'll look great in far too choppy for my Catalina. Mine will like it to be like a mill pond,
Will it?
like a piece of
Will it-
glass. I was
will
going to
it be
use
in
some
a
of that
puddle?
bathroom frosty glass look and just sit it on that. Just spray it blue, and we're good to go. Very good, excellent job on that one. Right, okay. So a couple of other things, obviously, to talk about before we go through. Obviously, the group builds. We've still got a little bit of time to go. You got what? Just over 2 weeks for the end of the Latino group build.
Yeah, tell me about it.
So obviously, this is the important one for your medals and things like that, guys. So make sure you get all your ones down there. 125 on the go. We've got 78 finished, which is great. Should we have a look at a few? See what we got out this week. Okay, hold on. AMX Venezuelan. See, how often do you say that in this hobby? Very nice indeed. Did you finish yours, Matt? You were doing an AMX, weren't you?
No, because I changed and I did the Sherman. I was going to do an AMX.
That's right. I know you were playing with an
the
AMX.
one, but I changed my mind and did the Sherman instead. I built the Tamiya one, which is a nice kit. But yeah,
Very nice. Taken on a nice sunny day.
yeah.
Very nice indeed. Again, congratulations. Well done, Scott. Beautiful job. Beautiful kit. And we've got MiG-17 from Rob. This is the Zvezda. Cuban.
Cool.
Very nice indeed. Oh, only a couple of photos there. Very nice. And we've got, what else we got? Oh, a Kafia by John Buller, age 7 3/4.
Who's that? Who's he?
I don't know, he never usually enters these things.
He don't, does he? What? Just wants a medal. That's all.
Yeah,
he's
that's
about.
it. He's just after his first ever medal, clearly.
We'll start calling him Mutley.
John, do you know
He is. He's going to look like one of these Korean generals.
He is.
where's the aerial in front of your front wheel gone?
Oh, here we go.
Yeah, now we've got the close-up, we can start to pull it apart. So, anyway. What's on it, Andy? Does yours have that?
Yeah. I'm just waiting to put the pitot tube on. It's arrived today, so I'll do my photos next couple of
Any
days.
excuse.
Yeah, that.
Do you see those weird looking things on the wings? They're called stencils.
Stencils.
What, these things here? What are they? What are they for?
Yeah, I don't know.
I have no idea what they're for, but they were an absolute nightmare to put on.
Yeah.
Did you put all the stencils on then in the end, John?
Yeah.
Oh, you martyr. Oh,
Yeah, they're all on there.
I'll tell you what, the wash came out well.
Yeah, I wonder who that is.
Take me hat off to the guy that invented that.
Yeah, what? Tamiya panel liner, was it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's me. It's me, Jimenez.
No, it looks actually very nice. This is the first time I've seen it up close. So,
Very tight.
very tidy it is actually, John. Very tidy. Very, very nice. Yeah, what
Yeah,
are
it's
these
not bad
more?
kit,
I'm not
actually.
taking the mickey. I honestly, genuinely have no idea what they're for.
No, I haven't.
I think it's on all of them, isn't it? Even the Israeli ones have got on it.
Yeah, I don't know what it's for. Perhaps it's some type of where you get the shockwave build up and it probably rips the hell out of the marking or something and they can tell what's going on. I don't know. Stress factor. Don't know. Weird. Don't know what that one is. Very nice. Well done, John. Congratulations.
Thank you.
What else we got? Skyhawk. Oh, I think we saw this one the other day, didn't we? Perhaps not. Oh, look, there's a different one. So this is Thomas, and he's done a very nice.
Cameron one.
Very nice. Which marking's that? Sorry, I'm jumping around a bit.
Argentina.
Is it Argentinian?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, sorry. Yes, got the thingies there. There we go.
It's a little thing in it.
Great little build.
It's a lovely little kit. If anyone's wanting a quick build,
Hmm.
that is lovely. Apart from the intakes, it's fine. But
To be honest, that's a trait with them all, because the Hasegawa one I used to find even on the 48, they fitted, I think, on the port side, but the starboard one on this side, you always had a little lip, and I never worked out why. And I've built a few of them. So, but no, good job. I'll tell you what's nice with this group build is the colours.
yeah.
It's not your standard grey jets and your various things. They've all got their own unique colour schemes for each country, isn't it? It's like, oh, we're going to have a bit more colour in ours than the Chileans do, or whatever it is.
Yes, Nathan. A lot of colour into it.
Yeah.
Well, apart from the modern ones. Speaking of Chilean, Buck's done a tank.
Yay.
He gets bonus points because he's got the sander in as well.
Yeah.
So what tank's this? This is a it's the Meng AMH. It's the French one.
AMX-30, yeah.
Very nice. Still gets the sander in. Good, good, good.
Things with this group, though, it got people thinking about something different, didn't it? Which is what we wanted in the first place.
And it's got people buying paints they don't ever probably use it ever again.
Yeah, yeah, true.
No, but the whole point, sometimes when we do these group builds, the reason we pick them isn't because like we just want you to try something completely different. It's just so perhaps you'll try different colour schemes sometimes, because technically the kits, they can be the same, but it might make you do different colour schemes, and that's when we were doing this one, is that we knew it would be different stuff, you know. There you go, look comfy there. Crikey. That's the way to do it. Everything to hand. Perfect.
Yeah.
A nice setup.
Nice one, Buck. Lovely job. Okay, so one more. Should we pick something else apart from an AMX? There we go. Chris Duck, because this is a nice one. He did his Wessex.
Oh, sweet.
God, that looks good, doesn't it? The
Well, they
rotor
want all
effects.
four figures as well.
Yeah, little figures. He's got everything.
Blimey.
Yeah, it's amazing.
That looks like a photograph. That's all.
Okay, so this is the Mark 1 Models Wessex. Do we know these people? Who's Mark 1 Models? That's a new one on me.
They are usually in Telford. They're in the same little bit near Mac 2.
Oh, right,
Yeah.
okay. Oh, my God, so you get Mark 1, the Mark 2.
Yeah.
Oh, we'll start up a company now, Mac 3. We sell razor blades. There we go. Absolutely fantastic. Beautiful work. So we know he did a lot of scratch building in this one, doing all the bits and pieces, but the figures look absolutely fantastic. The water's amazing, but no, it's not. But no, very, very nice job indeed. Because again, you have to bear in mind, this thing is ickle, as in
Yeah.
tiny.
Yeah, because
But even the painting on the figures are great.
They are for the scale because they are like.
This is 144. So what is that? That's about a bit bigger than your thumb.
Well, 72 scale is an inch tall. The people are an inch tall in 72, aren't they?
Yeah.
So they're half an inch tall or thereabouts.
Blimey. If you're thinking painting like OO figures, isn't it?
Yeah,
Jesus.
that's right.
Or HO figures, should I say? They're going to be like minute. I bet he's got a good pair of optivisors.
You're gonna need them. I'm hoping he's got something down here to show the scale because these are tiny.
Nuts.
That's really good, isn't it?
I didn't even know they did figures in
There
that.
you go.
There
you go.
Yeah.
That tells the scene. That's a giant pot of LP7. No, well done, Chris. That is absolutely beautiful. Great job on that one. As I say, you know, for you guys that are doing the smaller scales, please put something to give a reference, because you say 144 and it's very difficult to put it into perspective, but it's thumb size. It's crazy, absolutely crazy. So the detail that has gone into that and all the work to get that scale effect and everything right the way down to the base, is very, very talented. As I say, very strong magnifiers.
Wow, the guy's trousers are like a couple 4 or 5 minutes long.
Absolutely. Very good job. Cool job. Well done. Beautiful work. Absolutely stunning.
They must use like one brush here to paint the little
Yes.
pots on it.
Definitely. Okay, so next up, obviously we got Battle of the Bulge. You've got a little bit longer to run on this one, being a SIG. So this one's obviously started afterwards. So this one you've got until 31st of August. 74 currently on the go, and we've got 18 finished. Somebody asked me a question about some 109 or something. Sorry, I haven't answered you yet. This has just reminded me. Just say yes and don't tell anyone. You'll know who you are. Nathan's here to answer the question. I can't remember what it was. I'll dig out the question in a minute. I'll run it past Nate because Nate will know. But it's a Luftwaffe. Apparently, it's an EDAR kit, and they're showing it was in that area, but he's looked online and apparently it never was. But yeah, I wouldn't worry about it. It'd be fine. Anyway, anywho, we've got what we got. Let me just go through the new section. There we go. So V17G. From all 3 hours ago. Crikey, hold on, although apparently I've had a look at it. B17G, this is from Adrian. Very nice job. There we go. See, that would have been a far easier scale for me to do than what I'm doing at the moment.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, different ones. Very nice. Very cool. Good job. Again, it's one of those ones you can't go wrong with the B-17. It is a good looking aircraft, I must admit.
Yeah.
Apart from we were looking at the ones that have been slightly damaged earlier, weren't we?
We were, yes.
And to be honest, yeah, it's amazing they made it back. So,
yeah.
Hobby Boss, this is the 109 G6 48 scale from another Adrian. Very nice job. What do we think to this kit then, Nath? Is it a good kit?
It's like we talked about this the other night. The Tamiya kit's the best kit, but the Hobby Boss one's a lot cheaper. But look, I mean, it builds up.
Well, that's it, yeah.
Looks like the 109G.
Looks like a 109 to me, yeah, that's right.
Definitely Tamiya, then Edard, and then
Hobby Boss, yeah.
Yeah.
We get the bronze medal for,
Yeah, so it's in the top 3.
Perfectly.
Oh, look, we've got another G10 this time from Bryn. Oh, we saw Bryn. How comes Bryn's back? Look, he's getting a double kudos this. Didn't we talk about him last week?
Has
he been putting it to the top of the list again?
He's boosted his thing up.
Yeah, he keeps boosting his post. Bryn, get back in your box. What have we got? Jack Panzer?
Oh, look, a Hetzer.
The Hetzer.
Whose kit's that?
This is Tamiya.
Oh, the Tamiya one, is it?
Yeah.
was it the Tamiya one you did, Matt?
No, I did the old Dragon one. I'd say which is a nice one is the Academy one. That's a really nice kit. But,
it looks like a slightly bigger version, that thing you showed me yesterday, Matt. And it was a tank, everyone. That one with the bloke running next to it, it looks like a coffin with a gun.
Well, it probably was.
Yeah. It's like a mini version of it.
Yeah.
Now we know where they got the idea.
That does work, kit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very nice indeed. Very cool.
Full build.
Good build. And okay, so a quarter-ton utility truck diorama from Michael. Jeep.
A Jeep.
With trailer. I tell you, that's a clever photo that is, because it looks like it's all one, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's a good backdrop.
Nice weathering on that.
Nice, that good weathering on all of that. Look at that. That's fantastic.
Looking at this the other night, weren't we, Matt?
Yes, we was.
Yeah, we were.
Yeah. I do like his rusty gates and stuff. It's all.
That's proper rusty. Yeah, he's got proper mortar.
Yes.
You can't go wrong with proper mortar. How did he do his mortar?
And a broken down Fiat.
Well, that's like normal. I like the way he's done his flat tyre. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, the flat tire is really good.
Flat tyre, nice touch. Really nice touch. But again, yeah, we were saying it's nice because it's daylight as well. So it's taken a fantastic photo with the backdrop using his garden. It actually all just really works, all of that. That's actually a clever way of doing it.
I do like that backdrop as well, yeah. I say
It is, it works really well. That nice garden.
Yes.
If you lit the torch, you look like Jurassic Park. Change that. You're like Jurassic Park where they go back and you need one each side at night with it on fire.
Have a T-Rex peeping over the top.
Yeah, that's the one. No, really nice job on that. Very, very cool.
And before anybody shouts at me, I know it's a Simca really. Not Fiat.
I'm pretty sure it's a Jeep.
I think you might be right. But which factory did it come out of?
Right, this is it. Look, backside of the gate's all done as well, look.
Yeah.
If it's a Meng one, it's a quarter-ton utility vehicle.
Oh.
Yeah, they can't use Jeep.
Because they're not allowed to use Jeep, otherwise they get copyrighted, is it?
It is, they call it.
Yeah, it is. Tacken would have to, wouldn't they? Yeah, they wouldn't be allowed to use the word Jeep.
Yeah.
With the license.
Four-wheeled. It's a wonder they don't like just fudge it and call it a leap. Okay, one more. Mosquito. Because everyone loves a Mosquito. So this is the Tamiya 48 kit, which is still a beautiful kit. One of my firm favourites actually for the Tamiya stuff like on this particular series. So John's done this one. Very nice indeed. Oh look, blurry base. Bonus point gets it. Got a mug.
Mug in the background.
Mug in the background.
Nice build.
Nice. Very nice. Very cool.
Can't beat a Mozzie, can you?
That's it.
Sean says, "Hey, that's mine." In chat.
You're on screen.
You've made it.
Nice.
Very nice indeed. Very cool. Tell you what, I've built that kit loads of times, but I haven't built it probably in the last 12 years. It's funny. Fond memories of that kit. You used to get commissioned a lot for doing them.
Is it one to revisit?
It could be actually, because I did do. I built the Recon one, wasn't it? The PR version, photo reconnaissance one.
Yeah.
That's the last time I did it, which would have been over 10 years ago now. I think that would have been the last one. So.
I was going to say, have you ever built their bow fighter?
No.
See,
No.
that's one you should tackle.
Absolutely. You know what? I might. Now I'm going to be getting a few of their kits. Well, might do when I can afford it. It'll be building me stash of Tamiya. That's what it'll be. I'll keep the boxes so it looks good.
I think I built the Bowfighter and the Mosquito last year. Was it the year before?
Yeah, before that was, I think.
The year before, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, you did, didn't you? Because you did the extra dark sea grey one, was it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Bainiff colours, what are they called?
Yeah, that was it.
Very good. Well done, everybody. Some beautiful work there this week. And don't forget, if you want to see more of your great work, make sure you get your pictures up nice and early in the morning, because I've been doing it a lot earlier than normal. The other day I did it at 7:30 in the morning to do the gallery for the day, and I know a lot of you people think, I know, I'll stick it up on Friday mornings, afternoons before I do it, but I caught a load of you out the other week because I did it even earlier. So make sure you get your photos all up if you want them to appear, obviously, on the Friday review, show and everything else for the gallery at the end of the show. Make sure they're up by at least 9 o'clock in the morning, and I'll make sure they're on. Big thing though, I have to say, 2 things. If you don't see your picture up of your model, 2 things may have happened. One, is too smaller an image, so when I put it into the gallery it just looks horrible. So make sure your photos are a good size, because last week I had a couple when they were like thumbnails. When I put them into the system, it just blocks. It looked like Minecraft, so that isn't going to work, so I had to take them off. And the other thing as well is sorry, what was the other thing as well? If we get too many. So obviously I can't have the gallery going on for literally hours, because a couple of you said the other week, but it's because we've done a joint one, so we had like 2 weeks. We did the group build end video went up, so the following week I put 2 up, and then obviously some people get dropped out. But it's nothing personal, it's just that if some of you have done multiple things, for instance, and you're putting them up, and we have a lot of new members who join, obviously show their work, I try and make it fair for everybody gets a bite of the cherry as well. So if you don't see it, it's purely nothing personal, and it might go up the weekend after, so always keep an eye out that way. Anyway,
Can I just say,
yes,
before you go, I've had an email just come through while you was
go on.
talking. The Southall show has been sold.
Oh,
which is the Lincoln and Newark, is it? Newark and Lincoln show, which we were going to go to, weren't we, Andy?
That's traditionally the last one for us before Telford, isn't it?
It is, yeah, because it's October. Yeah, it's about a month before, isn't it? Literally about a month before Telford, so October, around the 10th, whenever. But yeah, I've sent an email through that unfortunately has been cancelled. So that's another show.
Go on. Well, I must admit, like you guys saw it, I posted to the guys. I have one from IPMS saying Telford, as far as they're concerned, is still a go, but obviously they're looking at it weekly to make a decision a little bit later on the line. But as far as they're concerned, as of today, middle of May, amazes me it took 3 weeks for them to get, or 3 or 4 weeks to get a newsletter out. But yeah, as far as they're concerned, it is still a go. So Telford is still on. If everyone goes or not, that's all up to you. But as far as they're concerned, it's still going to go ahead. But obviously that may very likely change at a later date, I would have thought.
Yeah.
So yes, cool. Right, okay, so first question up in the questions this week. Remember, if anyone's got any questions, please post them up in the forum. It just makes things a lot easier to do, and then we'll go over to the chat room afterwards. So Mike says, hello Flory crew, I am building the 132nd Tamiya F14 Tomcat, which I've had for years. I'm using Rosy riveters to rivet the raised details which are prevalent on this kit. Just before we saw the Tomcat, I don't know, somebody scale mate it, I don't know how old that one is. When they did the Bombcat, they retooled the nose, so the nose is recessed. The body for the A version is all raised details, and a lot of people say to me, oh, is it a good kit? Honestly, like I say, I would be better inclined to go after the the Trumpeter 132nd, because it's more up to date, and obviously for doing Ds and the newer versions and stuff like that, it's where you want to go anyway. And the aftermarket's all available for doing the Trumpeter one. But Andy's now going to tell me when the A version came out.
1980.
Was it? I thought it was before that.
Yeah, I thought it was before that.
I thought it was in the 70s, definitely in the 70s. But anyway, it is a bit of a, it's a bit freaky, because you've got to make the decision to overscribe the entire thing or leave it. Anyway, he was saying that he needs to fix some mistakes that he's made, and obviously needs to sand due to pushing down on the riveter a little bit too hard. I'm thinking about using homemade styrene filler to fill the holes instead of something like perfect plastic putty. Does it really matter which filler you use? No, it's personal choice from my point of view of doing it. The only thing is, as I say, if you're using perfect plastic putty, it's so much quicker and easier because it's straightforward cleanup. It's very quick and easy to sand, and obviously you can use damp cloth to take a lot of it off as well for just overdoing things like riveting. The downside to it is, though, is that if you need to re-rivet and you go over one of those ones you filled, you're drop into it because it's very soft, and that's where using like the styrene filler, it's just like doing plastic all over again. So it just depends on how much you've gone awry. If it's just a little bit, I just use the styrene filler and just go along, quick little sand over the top once that's dry the next day, and then just re-rivet and go again. But if you want something a little bit more quicker for fixing that type of thing, you could use the normal filler, but the normal filler probably will shrink as well. So horses for courses. What do you guys think?
Can't really argue, because if it's rivets, that's to use plastic putty. But like you said, if you want to go over it again, you're going to go back to square one.
Yeah.
If it's a little slip where I've rescribed, I sometimes use super glue.
It's just hard when you go back over though, doesn't it? With you trying to get the
trying to
same...
rivet over super glue, it's a bit tricky then, isn't it? Because it's pretty strong stuff. But I know what John means. Like if I've done a quick slip with a scribing, for instance, sometimes if I'm not going to go there because I've missed, I've gone away, then I will literally just super glue it because it's instant and it's rock hard, and you know you're going to get no shrinkage. Yeah. But if it's something where you're going to have to go again, then it may be a little bit different. Like for instance, working on the V17, I've got to do the re-riveting on the underside, but because they're very light and shallow, I've actually sanded them almost completely away, so we have to go again. If I was to go awry, because they're very light, I'll probably just sand it back and just go straight over it, because you're not going to make them too deep either, so you can get away with it like that. Hey Phil, question for you. Can your washes be sprayed to an airbrush? Yes. Thank you much, Bubba show. Hey, am I missing something there? But yes, yeah, you can just put it through your airbrush as you normally do, and then to clean out, just use an acrylic airbrush cleaner, flush it through just with water, and then put a little bit of acrylic airbrush cleaner through it as well. And then that way, the next time you put it through, you won't have a problem. But it will just spray. It sprays right the way through down to a 0.15, because I've used it all the time like that. So shake it, spray it as it is, straight from the bottle, pop it in. You don't need to thin it or anything else. If you want to thin it, you can do, but you can just spray it neat. It'll be absolutely fine.
You do exhaust stains that way.
Yes, yeah, safe way of doing exhaust stains and stuff, because they don't work. Just wipe it off and go again.
Yep.
Okay, so was that Domomora 332? We did change your name. Hello team, best filler to use on resin aftermarket parts. Will sprue goo work? I don't know if perfect plastic putty would adhere. Okay, so Matt, somebody give him a poke. Look, he's I should have stuck the camera on him. Looks like he's flipping through Playboy over there. Anyway. So, question for you: doing figures, resin things.
Yes.
We're just saying about for filler on resin figures, sprue goo or perfect plastic putty, but will it adhere to it and all the rest of it? What do you use for filler on figures, resin figures?
To be honest, I use Tamiya filler. To be honest, but I melt it down with Tamiya extra thin or acetone.
Yeah, are we thinking though that because it's resin, it'd be better to have a lacquer-based filler than a water-based?
Yeah, definitely.
So it can etch in and grip better.
Yeah, definite. Yeah, 100%. Yeah. So
if you're doing larger parts, two-part epoxy would be better, because that's. I mean, HPH sell that. They're doing their kits for doing filling and stuff.
Yeah.
Which is a two-part, just in the kit you get just 2 parts of resin, epoxy.
Yeah.
Which could use that, you could just get general stuff from a supermarket, from a DIY centre, couldn't you?
Don't use 2-pack stuff.
Because it's
2-pack stuff.
Because it is resin, you've obviously got to super glue it together, so you could use your super glue as a filler.
Yeah.
Because to be honest with you, that's what I thought. I was going to say use a super glue, but I don't do many of them. That's the thing. But yeah.
So yeah, super glue is also very handy to use, especially if it's a bit gappy. To be honest, resin figures are normally pretty good. They're normally well sort of sculpted, so you don't really get many gaps, unless you're obviously changing the pose or whatever. Normally they're quite good. It's normally stick the head on, because the arms and stuff are already there. Like styrene ones, like this one. Obviously, I know I've converted him, but you know, it's separate arms, separate legs to the torso, separate head. But resin figures normally there's less parts to them. They're nicely moulded. But yeah, you probably go away with super glue, to be honest. And after that, just a bit of even surfacer. You know, like Mr. Surfacer 500.
Yeah.
Just to fill in the gaps and level. So yes, that's the way I'd go about it anyway.
Our chat, a few people are voting for green stuff.
Yeah, I've got some loads like this stuff here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's up like hot.
Any of the 2-part putties and stuff. Well, like I say, to be honest, depending how big your gaps are, super glue normally you can just sort of flow it
Magic
in.
Sculpt's good. That's a 2-part one.
Yeah, there's loads of them out there.
Milliput.
Yeah.
I haven't used milliput yet. I used to make my harnesses out of milliput. I used to do the old trick on the grease-proof paper, roll it out, make them into like thingies, and then sticking them on and moulding them in.
I'll tell you what is good. If you can you have to get it from Japan or from abroad, but the quick type Tamiya epoxy.
Yeah.
That stuff is brilliant. I really, really wish we could get that to sell over here.
Is that a 2-part epoxy then?
Yeah, it is. But do you know, with the 2-part, I've noticed they can be really sticky, but this is the one where you get the white one and the sandy coloured one. And you don't need a lot of it at all. I mean, you need like a little ball of it and it goes for miles. So, and it's really easy to sculpt.
Very good. Cool.
Yeah.
Okay. Also, new to the site, I'm not sure the protocols. I've got some completed builds without content for the builds. Can I just post them to the completed models with as much required info as I can remember? Yes. Yeah, so we've got the gallery sections into the forum. You'll see them as like air gallery, and obviously we've got civil vehicles, armor, sci-fi, ships and figures. Then just post them into there, absolutely. And they're the ones that I use then for the gallery videos on Friday. So those videos you see through is where people have completed them. So those ones don't have to have a build behind it. So if you've just built it, you know, off your own bat and you haven't done a build or anything else, you don't have to. You can just post them up there for everyone to coo over and to show off your work, which we love to see. Okay, so Paul says, hi Phil and team, I'm just about to build the Edard 1/48 scale Tornado GR1 Desert Babe. Hannants have been out of stock of Gulf War Desert Pink Extra Acrylics XA 1032 for ages. Could any of you help with suggestions for mixing the paints to the correct colour, please? Many thanks. Over to you, Nath.
Right.
Oh, hold on. Wrong camera. Hold on. Hold on.
Right. There are, for me, there's an easy alternative, which is MRP.
Yeah.
And I've got the number here. It's MRP 185. And it's literally called Desert Pink RAF. That's probably the best option. Sovereign paints do an enamel, but again, that's not for everybody. But they do one as well. But I'd probably go the MRP route. But bear in mind, they weathered a lot, so don't worry too much about being a little bit out either way.
Extra colour also do the Desert Pink. Nathan's shaking his head. Which is the same code, but it's X1032, I believe. So you just take the A off it, and that's actually in stock, but that is a bit of a nightmare to paint.
Yeah, but just thinking, don't you think that's all right with rapid thinner?
Yeah, true. Yeah, true. I've not tried for such a long time. Yeah.
It might do, but I'm not.
Yeah.
Very sticky and horrible thing.
Yeah, but with rapid thinner, it might actually spray really nice.
I mean, on the Tornado Sig Facebook group, someone just put up one that they've done with MRP, and it looks spot on to me. So but weather it to hell. Give it especially if it's got nose art on it, because they put the nose art on fairly late, and the nose art's got loads of bomb tallies on them, haven't they? The ones they've got lots and lots of bomb tallies, so they're all quite late Gulf War. So going from the weathering, don't do it too clean, because when they've got like 20 mission markings on, there's a clue there that they've been in.
And they were patched in by hand with Dulux paint, weren't they? Too.
They were, yeah.
Yeah, so like, that's why they have lighter patches, where they'd use different colours to patch them in and whatever. So, which was like, I think was it just Dulux emulsion or something to touch them up.
Yeah, it was.
And also, all the artwork was done with Tamiya paint, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Or a lot of them. So there's a couple of reference photos out there with the artists painting them on, use it, and they're there with little pots of Tamiya doing the nose art. So.
Hey, I tell you what, kudos to him, because it must be bloody good artists who use brush paint, Tamiya paint in that weather.
Yeah,
dry on the brush.
Like,
did you think they had a retarder?
It must have been something, because that stuff's almost impossible to brush on its own. I'd like to meet one of the artists, you know what I mean? If anybody knows anybody who did any of the artwork, tell them to get in touch with Phil, because we'd love to get them on and talk to them about how they did it with Tamiya paint.
Absolutely. The guys are also saying in chat about the Alclad 2 do it as well, RAF Desert Pink.
I've never seen that one.
Do you know what? It's a funny colour. Alclad, I had every colour Alclad did when they did the metal range. And to be honest, I used to like them. Very fragile, and the usual things you had troubles with Alclad. But I've never, ever tried Alclad 2's normal colour range. Which is weird. So... It's like it's been forgotten, isn't it? Alclad's been sidestepped these days by MRP and everybody else.
Yeah, it has. It was one of the originals, though, wasn't it? For the lack of paint.
Yeah.
And then it's
Yeah, so go Alclad if you can get that in. I mean, again, it's one of those things like I've heard, don't quote me if I'm wrong, but if they were painted in different places, I think some came from RAF Germany. They were a slightly different colour.
Yeah, because they didn't have the original stock of paint, did they? So they ended up mixing it to make the colour.
Yeah, I mean, we're in that nice ballpark areas, should be fine. And
again, the great thing about it, as we often say on this one, is that obviously with the time that they were out there and the weather conditions, they weathered. So they faded, so you are in that realm of, the bit where they turn around and, not being funny, if you look at the Jaguar, they got like a Cosford in it and stuff like that, that's more of a museum piece. I wouldn't be too taken on that one. If you see the Jags that are out there, they were almost peeling in the sun, so it was one of those ones where I think as long as you start off with a ballpark you're in there, then it's like Nathan says, you go into your weathering and you just beat the hell out of it, and then that way you can get away with it being any shade, because the weathering will take over.
Yeah. And Chris has just asked the JP233 dispensers and whether you should use them with the note art. Again, I think they did the JP233 missions before the nose art was applied, but I might be wrong. But I've got a funny feeling they did those before nose art was popped on. But I wouldn't worry. I've seen plenty of people do it, so I wouldn't worry about it. Just look for an aircraft that's got the mission markings on it. I just I don't think anyone's going to hold it against you if you do it, because it's one of the coolest weapons that the Tornado has ever fitted with.
Yeah.
It just looked brilliant, so I'd go for it. I really would. Wouldn't lose any sleep over that. But make sure your Desert Pink has got a pinky. It has got a definite pinkiness to it.
Well, that's what Tim says. Why is it they're saying it's pink? Sand isn't pink. It was one of those things, an aircraft when it's at low level, wasn't it? That was the whole point. The pink worked quite well, because obviously desert sand is I say, different shades and things. Well done. So I shut the door a second ago because the dog's about to go mental, and the dog's just come in and opened the door. But yeah, so that's the thing. I think it's just one of those camo things, but there's lots of stories go round about because it was a late procurement, wasn't it?
That was an emergency.
So yeah, a lot of it was it Dulux made it?
Dulux, and it's some company, I think it's called Leyland Paint. I think it's called Blush.
Yeah.
And
that's what they used for touching it up with, was the blush.
Oh,
which is the light patches that you see on them.
Yeah.
I think the original colour was designed before the Gulf, a couple of years before the Gulf War, and used on the aircraft. I think that's why in Germany they didn't have the actual colour, because they painted a Jaguar and a Hercules in it.
Yeah.
Before that was a couple of years before the Gulf War. Were done in that actual proper colour, but then sort of like it was just, I think it was just a test colour, test scheme. I think they did, but yeah.
I did hear stories. They definitely went to DIY stores like B&Q, all the war, because they'd run out of paint.
Yeah.
And the fuel tanks looked really funky colours because they were painted in.
Well, they were hand painted, weren't they? The large fuel tanks, the Hindenburgs, were hand painted, weren't they?
I did a GR1 in 72 scale. And I found a picture where the emulsion paint basically weathered off the front of the fuel tank. So just have some really good fun with those Dead Bay kits. Gone absolutely nuts on the weathering, but not touch them up. They did go around, and because if it chipped through to the green and grey underneath, it did go around and touch it up.
Yeah.
But when they came back after the Gulf War, there's lots of airshow pictures with loads of chipping. You've got loads of options with that kit to have a bit of fun with it.
I always quite like the Chinook, because if you see the pictures of the Chinooks, because of the way that the rotors, when they overlap, you get the downblast, it looked like they'd been washed in the middle. And you get that area, because where obviously the sand and everything and the weather, it literally just washed it away. So they're almost like camo normal in the midsection, and then they're sandy at the ends as they're flying around.
Yeah.
But it's okay, there's, you know, to be honest, it's one of those areas where, again, it has its own history and various things, and, you know, it's almost got a life of its own doing all that type of camo on them, the temporary camo schemes and things like that.
Yeah.
They're interesting ones to do. I like the snow ones for the temporary one for that, where obviously they're painted over the green with the white. So, and leave the grey, isn't it? So he did it that way for the Harriers and obviously the Jags and stuff like that. So definitely interesting schemes for sure.
Definitely.
Adrian says, good evening chaps, need a bit of advice. I'm building the ICM 148 scale Mark 9 Spitfire that I'm converting to a two-seater. This is the first time I've ever done anything like this. Everything is going fine. I'm getting to the stage where I need to fix the canopies in place. There are a few gaps. I need to fill these with all three in place, and then fill them, and then to fix them in place, and then fill, and then move on to the next one that I'll be using crystal clear to fix them down. Okay, hold on, we've got some pictures. So that's what we've got.
So he's asking, would you put one canopy on, let it dry, and then go on to another? Or would you put them all in place and then do it all in one go?
Well, this is it.
Do you know what I'd be tempted to do, which is not? I'd be tempted to have the canopies slid back.
Do you know what, Nate? You've got an absolute perfect there. That's what I would do as well. I would probably have the canopies all open, because you've got the small fit issues and the various things going on with this one to take care of. If you've got them open, you don't have to worry about them. So I would slide this one over the back, and then this one just slide it back. You know, and you could have them open and get round that entire problem.
That's just me taking the low road to solve it.
It's a good route to do.
Yeah.
But apart from...
it depends whether they're designed to be opened, though, isn't it? That's the problem. It might not be as straightforward as just
sliding them back.
Sliding them back.
Well, they were, weren't they? That's how they did them. Yes, a few years ago we were lucky enough to get round Jane, wasn't it, and got a full tour and all the rest of it while she was having a new engine built, and got a sit in and a play and everything else. And if I remember rightly, they just both slide back.
Yeah, but the
kit ones, I mean,
the kit canopies, I mean, because what kit was it? Is it an Airfix Spitfire?
No, it's the ICM.
It comes two canopies, doesn't it? A closed one and an opened one.
Yeah.
Because the opened one is slightly wider to go back over the fuselage.
Yeah.
I know what you mean, John.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at the picture on the screen. I'm thinking the rear canopy looks like it would slide over the back there.
Yeah.
I mean, otherwise, just PVA glue one at a time.
Yes.
Because at least if it goes a bit south, you can always cut the PVA glue away
and get back into it. Yeah.
Go to plan B and then slide it open as a plan B, maybe.
I think I'd be tempted to do the front three parts in one go, and then that rear canopy get that to fit after all the other bits are on to.
Again, yeah, I'm probably with Andy. If you're going to nail them down, I'd get that one all into place first and get it filled and done, whatever you want to do with that one. So that one's good. And then this one, you can just tweak it to get it in. And if you are going to go with it closed up, then yeah, you know, you're obviously just going to, you know, like you can actually see it here. Chances are if you sanded that just a little edge off of that one, this will just come forward a bit and just fit a little bit better.
Yeah.
So without having to fill or anything, just take a shim out of that and then just bring this forward so it's more square.
Don't put any pressure on that rear one because I bet it'll look dead easy.
Yeah. Yeah, you don't want to squash that in, as you say. If you part that too much, you might end up cracking it. So I'd take out a little shim out of this guy in here, just the back of it, and then this will just come forward a little bit and fit perfectly. Get a nice good line at the back here, and do it that way.
So is that rear canopy? Is that just a normal canopy turned round? Is what they've
Yeah,
done?
yeah, it's just that one turned round, isn't it?
Is that what they've done on the real aircraft? I wonder.
I don't know.
Quite possible.
I didn't take that much notice, to be honest, when we were looking at them. Interesting project, though, because we were talking about it the other day about no one does a 2-seat Spitfire in 48.
Yeah.
Why? The world needs these things.
Yeah.
Okay, John, you awake? Just checking. This is for you. 2 questions for John, because me and Matt passed the buck yesterday, to be honest. What is your opinion on your Procom 770?
It's very nice.
Would you buy another one? That's always the clue.
I wouldn't buy another one now I've got that one. I mean, it does spray really nice.
Yeah. Now, you described it slightly different earlier, John. What did you say?
Well, it's like any airbrush. Air goes in the bottom, paint goes in the top, and it sprays out. But it does spray it really nice. And it's got a... It's got a fine needle in it, so it's quite good for really delicate work.
So what size needle's in that one? Is it the 1.8 in that?
0.18, I think.
Yeah.
If you broke it, would you replace it with the same model?
Probably not. I'd probably get... What's the one down with the Mac valve?
270.
Yeah.
So how much was yours? I can't remember how much you paid for yours now.
Oh, I think that was £220. Hang on.
Yeah, it's
So
about
really it's another £100.
God, it's a premium, isn't it?
220, but if you think that's basically an Iwata custom micron, they're 450.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, definitely from that point.
It is really nice, and if you've got any sort of touch-up work to do, yeah, that's what I use. But me daily driver, as it were, is the Iwata HPCS. But these two in combo, I'm quite happy with. Like I say, I don't use either of me H&S's very much now.
No, I must admit I'm the same. I don't really use mine because I just use the Procom one all the time now. It's my daily driver for everything.
Like gloss coats and the Infinity just for metal. But if you're looking at buying one, then I just go for the 270, I think. Yeah,
at the end of the day, the other way to look at it, if you can afford it and you want the top of the range one, then get it because it's got all your bells and whistles on it. You know, if you you're thinking, is it worth the extra money? I think what we're saying is it's not, because you don't tend to use... do you use the fine controller on the rear?
No. I have occasionally, but not that often.
Yeah.
But I never did on the...
do you retract the needle that way? Do you pull the needle back that way?
Yes. You can pull it back if it gets a bit sticky.
Yeah.
Pull it back. Lack of things, but I like the Iwata. I've not stripped that down at all since I've had it. Every time I go to use it, it works.
Yeah.
If you can afford it and you want it, yeah, go for it. Because like I say, you're getting basically a £450 airbrush. But I'm sure the 270 would probably near enough do everything that one will do. Then you could use the £100 you're saving on something else.
Sorted. Okay, so part 2 question. This is for you again, John, by the looks of it. What type of surface primer was it that you liked? And is great for white? You mentioned it some time ago.
Oh, the Mr. Surfacer, the white one. But any of theirs, the grey, the black, I use them all as primers. I think they're brilliant. But that white is really easy to spray.
Cool.
So yeah, the Mr. Finishing Surfacer 1500 white.
There we go. Cool. Very good. Thank you, John. Look, mine of information tonight. And it's not about Russian stuff either. Okay, Angus says, hello Phil and team. I'd quite like to make the 2-seater MiG-29. Quick John, you're back. For the Moldovan snowbird markings. Is that how you pronounce it? Moldovan. Yeah. They're the doves, isn't it? You get the swifts and the doves. Is that the one? Maybe? I don't know. Anyway, markings of the real aircraft appears fairly heavily weathered. As all the display aircraft I've seen have been really clean. I was wondering if anyone has any tips on weathering showbirds. Thanks in advance. Again, they don't tend to be that wet. The Russian stuff does weather a little bit more. If anyone's seen a MiG-29 fly, you know they're smoky does. They smoke a bit, and I think that's the thing. That's a lot of, grubby stuff coming off of them. So that's why they get a little bit grimy. Normally at air shows, you see the crews going around, don't you, with a little spritzy bottle, spraying them and then going over them with a cloth. They do that to tornadoes with, I'm sure Nathan's aware of it, but every time a tornado landed at Riyadh, the first thing you'd see is a crew gets up on the back, goes up to the tail, starts spraying it where it's had the reversers on, and then, because obviously they've got tail art, cleaning them all and keeping it all nice. So I imagine most of them, the crews do it. I'm not too sure obviously about their ones, but again, Russia with the weather, stuff like that, obviously it's a little bit more difficult to keep them pristine.
I've actually got a picture of one up on my other screen. And it's the tattiest thing you've ever seen in your life.
Stick it on your share.
I would just proceed as a normal line jet and just weather it as normal then.
Oh. Yeah, it does look like a bit like they found it, isn't it?
Yeah.
The blue's tricky to weather though, isn't it?
Yeah, I was going to say, that's proper worn, isn't it? That's not weathered, that's worn.
Is that a larder in the background?
Yeah.
It is, isn't it?
Wow, that blue's going to be the tricky one, isn't it? The dark blue around the tail area.
Yeah, because it looks like it's a pale blue, isn't it, rather than white. It's got some white on it, but that's pale blue on tops of the wings and tail, isn't it, as well?
I think I'd do the dark blue with an air. You're going to have to do it with the airbrush, aren't you?
I would tempted to spray all the pale blue, then mark off and do the dark blue, and then rub through some of the dark blue.
Yeah, cut it back.
Pale blue to weather it into the...
The bit that caught my eye straight away is the bits either side of the 61.
Yeah. It's also the same on the top intake, where it's got the intake cover on. It's like all on the side there as well, isn't it? On the spine of the aircraft.
The thing is, with the Russian stuff, you don't know how old that scheme is on that aircraft.
Yeah.
If you know what I mean.
Yeah, that's right. Interesting scheme as well, I must admit. I haven't, as I say.
That'd make a little interesting diorama, wouldn't it?
Yeah, you need the larder.
Absolutely. I'm trying to work out what the car next to it is.
Is it a Golf?
No.
Can't quite tell.
Not full Golf?
Don't think so.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Need to zoom in on that.
Or a Mark
To 6.
3 Escort?
Be an FSO. I don't know what it is. I can't quite tell me.
Keith thinks it's a Mercedes. I don't know. It's hard to tell, isn't it? It's a little bit too small.
Yeah.
But the MiG-29 is one of the worst looking 2-seat aircraft.
Yeah, it's not a pretty aircraft, is it?
Yeah. Don't do a lot more. Does it?
Alright, I'll stop sharing you.
It's one of the, I don't know, that's a good, it's a bit Sometimes two-seat aircraft look better.
Mm.
Yeah, that one's.
Yes, yeah. Sometimes I think the Hornet is a classic example. The F-18 Hornet, the new one, the F or the G, looks better than the E, the single-seat Super Hornet. But you know, some aircraft just look wrong, and that's definitely one. The MiG just looks like an afterthought. No, they're all talking. It looks like a BMW now. So there you go, Andy. Quick, save that photo and put it in the forum, and then we can all digest and see what it is. But yeah, I'm with the guys on that one. To be honest, when you've got a dark blue like that, sanding it is probably the best way to wear it. If you've ever got a dark colour like blues and stuff, sanding them gives an automatic weathering because you change it. It looks being a flatter to the glossier side as well. It will lighten it, and then you can, if you wanted to, go through it. If you've got some weathering type sponges, they're very fine grit. You can just go at it until you wear through one paint coat to the next and through that way. But it does look particularly grubby, I have to say. I think it could do with a paint job, really. Right, okay, so hubby says, this is from Hubert, he says, hi, question, in one of the pre-lockdown live shows, crikey, that would have been beginning of March, I saw Matt holding a new IBG 132nd P11C Polish World War II fighter. Will this kit be available through the PM shop again soon?
Yes. Yes.
What about reviewing this interesting kit, Phil? Well, this is my kit manager, so he sends me everything I have to review. So speak to him.
I can get you one for review if you want.
Can do. So, what was it? I can't remember it now. Is that that thing with the funny wings? It's like a biplane, but with one wing.
I think so.
Yeah, it's like a gull wing sort of.
Yeah, it looks like it should have been a biplane, but they've decided not to put the bottom wings on.
Yeah, mind that. Right.
Yes, that's the one.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there we go. We can get it. If you want us to get you one in, if we haven't got it in stock, we can get them in. That's not a problem.
Yes, no problem.
IBG's pretty good.
Yeah, they are. They're easy to get hold of. Literally, I've just got to go down the road.
Yeah, literally. Okay, Barry says, gentlemen, I was spraying Alclad transparent smoke recently when my airbrush started shooting cobwebs all over. I stopped immediately and stripped my airbrush and cleaned it. The airbrush was clean before spraying. I noticed a gob of junk in the bottom of the colour cup that looks like the wadding stands of cotton buds. Oh yeah, the wadded strands from a cotton bud. I've never had to thin Alclad paint before. This bottle looked like the same as the other Alclad ones before. I shook the bottle for long enough to ensure that it was mixed before spraying. I estimate the air pressure is around about 15 to 20 psi, which sounds a lot for Alclad, to be honest. Could this be a problem due to the air pressure being too low? I think it's probably too high. The paint needing to be thinned or something else. I've watched all of your shows, either the live or recorded. By far the best bang for the buck that I've seen. Many thanks to all your team, help improve skills. Barry, if you've got a blob in your colour cup, it may be it just didn't mix. Sometimes, and it does happen, because it happens with me with the wash as well, when the way I do the wash is by hand. So when you're bottling, and you every now and again you'll get a clump. For me it's clay, but you know, a paint manufacturer might have pigment and various things clump as well, and it may be it's got in. If it's in that same situation I have, no matter what you shake, won't get rid of it. So it could have been you literally just had a lump, and when it went in, and the reason I say that it was probably something out of the bottle went in is purely because it sounds like it was a really, really thick bit of paint. So I often talk about it, because we joke about this. If you take Mr. Surfacer 500, put it into an airbrush, turn your air pressure up to like 30 psi and spray it, you can make instant cobwebs. Don't do it, because it will stick to things and it burns on contact. I know that. I had to repaint some objects once. So yes, blame the kids. But yeah, it was one of those ones where it's a nasty experiment. It's quite fun to do. But afterwards, if I ever get cobwebbing, you just know that's what it is. Because basically, if you imagine a candy floss machine, that's what you're doing. You've just got this heavy, thick stuff that it can't properly atomize, and it's stringing it out as it's blowing it off the needle. So that's why you end up with cobwebs, and that's why Mr. Surfacer does do it. So if you're saying it looked like something in there, I reckon it was you had a lump. Maybe it could be a pigment, something solid that has been contaminating your bottle. And this is Matt's thing about always mixing your colour cup, because chances are if you had it in your colour cup you might have seen it, but if you've decanted straight from the bottle into your colour cup of your airbrush, you might not have seen it. But if you've done it into a normal cup and then mixed it, and fine, that's what it is. But let's face it, Alclad stuff is very, very thin at the best of times, and normally I spray that type of thing, because it's the same type of effect as MRP, usually around about 10 psi. I wouldn't be up near 20. That's a lot. That's proper foggy. So I don't know, what do you guys think?
Could it have been contamination? I know he said his airbrush was clean, but if he'd been spraying acrylics beforehand and it wasn't 100% clean and puts Alclads in it,
yeah, that could thicken up the original one in there. Yeah,
that's what I thought. Cause sometimes on my hardened Steenbecker, the seals that are here,
yeah,
behind the colour cup, sometimes you think you do a really good cleaning job at the nozzle end, but a little bit of something comes through from the seals at the back of the colour cup, and that would give you that weird stringy blob.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because anyone who ever says, I've got problems with my airbrush, I'll clean my airbrush, first thing to say to it is re-clean your airbrush, because you always know that they haven't cleaned their airbrush as much as you think they cleaned their airbrush.
Yeah, I mean, it could be a couple of different things, couldn't it?
Yeah, it's either going to be, as you say, it's thick. The way you're describing the cobweb thing, I'm inclined to think that it may be, you know, the bottle, even though you shook it, you didn't really see, you know, because obviously the paint's on the side of the glass and everything else. You come out, and I'm guilty of it, because I tip straight into it. I've been doing it all day. And you cut a cup on your airbrush, you tip it in, you don't see the part fall in. It's a rattling around on top of the needle, because the needle goes underneath and it sits on top. So the paint's still flowing all around it. It's not really a problem. And then all of a sudden it slips down because it's maybe melting, and then it goes down to your needle end. You've got something really thick that's then, you know, and it's going through. And because you described that looked like a cotton butted end in there, I think that's made. But it could be as well during the manufacturing process, something has fallen into the vat, you know, and you just happen to be the lucky recipient. We famously had a cat claw once in my pigment, which I still don't know how that got in there, because we don't even own a cat. So we don't have a cat around here or anything else. So it must have been in manufacturing. So, you know.
What does the paint expert think?
If only we had one.
Yeah, who's that? John, what do you think?
Go on, what would you think, Matt?
I was looking at something else and I weren't listening, sorry.
Stringy cobwebs in paint.
Yeah.
Stringy cobwebs in paint?
Yes.
Alclad.
In Alclad?
Yeah.
Oh, right, okay. What, as in Alclad primer or paint?
Clear smoke.
Clear smoke.
Clear smoke. God, yeah. Like lack of mixing, basically, I think. There's loads of that's thingy. There's like loads of scenarios for that. Too high air pressure, like you've just said, not clean the airbrush out properly. There's loads of scenarios. I don't know really, because say if he narrows it down and he's mixed his paint outside the airbrush is clean. It could be a bad batch of paint. It could have gone off. Yeah.
Sounds like air pressure was.
Air pressure could be probably one of the main ones. Yeah, if that's cranked up to God knows what PSI, then yeah, it could be.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, the thing is easiest thing now, clean out your airbrush, start afresh, see what happens. You know, it could have been, as said, contamination that's gone down in there. You've had acrylic in there before. We know true acrylics and lacquers hate each other and they tend to glue, so that can be one of the reasons. Or it might have been contaminant. You might do it again and never have this problem happen again. The only thing I would say is, though, 20 psi for Alclad, it's incredibly high air pressure. I would say knock it down a bit, move a lot closer. Trust me, you will not use as much paint and it will cover quite nicely in nice glossy finishes and stuff like that, because when it's too high, it is pretty much.
Just on here about airbrushing, there's a good tip is whatever paint you're using, is to, before you spray or put your paint in, is to actually blow it through. So if you're going to use lacquer paint, put a bit of lacquer thinner in it and just give it a coat. If you're using acrylic, a bit of airbrush cleaner, blow it through, just to make, and it will just coat or clean up or...
I must admit, I do say that in my videos. I actually say about it's a good practice just to run a little bit of like lacquer thinners around your colour cup as well, because if you've got the residue of acrylic in there, and various things, and then the same way, like I always say, if you've been spraying lacquers, I always put a drop of or blow through a colour cup full of acrylic airbrush cleaner, so it gets it through, So I think the easiest way to see about contamination through different paints and that, if you've ever done silver, because if you've ever sprayed silver and then you put any other colour in, you end up with the film with it on the top. And it's like, where did that come from? I cleaned out my airbrush, I've blown it all through, and then you put a colour in and you can see silver on the top, and you're like, how? But it just shows how it does get caught in all these areas and then just comes up, and being the silver on acrylic, it will come to the surface. And you can see it immediately. So, yes, keep things clean. Right, okay. Why is Keith... What's up with Keith in chat? I'm just about to do your question. Don't panic. I'm getting there. There's lots of questions tonight.
No, he's having problems with the chat or the forum refresh, I think.
Oh, right, okay. So anyway, I've got your next, Keith. Don't panic. Hi, guys. Love the work you've done on all these daily lives. I bow before you in respect. I plan to weather the interior of my Zero with Abtai Lung oils and De La Roni, can never pronounce that, thinners, washes, filters. First time I've used AK Real Colours thinned with self-leveling thinners. Do I need to put a clear coat on, or can I seal them over the paint alone? I like the satin finish, the colour they are now. Putting a clear coat over them will change the difference. At the end of the day, if you're thinning with self-leveling thinners, and your chances are you might take off whatever you've got in below it. If you're just doing normal sort of oils and stuff like that, and you're using an enamels, you'll be absolutely fine. And just put them straight over the top. To be honest, this is what this lot will be getting tomorrow. And so it'll be straight over those, because those are lacquer paints on there, so it can have enamels, neat thinned with enamel thinners, and you'll have no problem at all. But you do have to be careful if you're going to be going over with something with self-leveling thinners as a wash or something else like that. It is going to eat into, even if it's an acrylic, it'll eat into it, because that's the top of the tree, as I call it. What do you think, guys?
Well, the thing is, satin coat anyway, and the AK Real Colours. I've not used the air ones, but I've heard
I've never used them.
Yeah, they are more of a satin than that.
Yeah, they're a satin finish. Obviously, the armour ones are just flat, really flat, because I've used them. No, you don't need a sealer coat on it, because you're using enamels over a lacquer. You'll be absolutely fine.
Yeah.
No problem at all.
Yeah.
Just be aware that probably the enamel thinner might make your lovely satin coat flat.
Yeah.
Yes.
Just try it on a bit of scrap first, isn't it? Spray some of the real colours and then just put an enamel wash over it and see what happens.
Yeah.
The main problem is if you've got a real flat coat, you get tide marks, don't you? But as long as you've got like a satin coat, which is the reason why most people put a gloss coat on it, is to stop that tide marks coming and allow it to flow better. If you've got a satin coat, it should flow anyway, and it'll be alright.
I think
sorry, Nate. I just think that's the joy we're using oils, because you can put them on a flat coat and tidy them up dead quick.
Yeah.
And leave them. They don't give you a time mark like enamels do for whatever.
True,
it's just easier. And plus, on a flat coat, they stick. If you put it on sort of a satin or a gloss coat, you just end up wiping them back off.
Yeah.
They work so much better just on a dead flat coat. They're easier to blend and get rid of. So, but yeah, satin coat, you'll be absolutely fine.
I must admit, we're going to have to get some of the air colours in, because I like to give them a go as well. Because I quite like spraying the normal AK ones, the armour ones, but I just found them too flat, if anything. I'm just being honest, they're very, very flat. But it'd be nice to try the actual air range to see what they are like, if they are a nice satin finish.
Yeah, they're definitely better than the armour ones.
Go on, Nate, you were going to say something.
Keith's done a lot of work on the inside of his Zero. I can't pronounce it. It's the Aotaki weird
That blue metallic.
I imagine it's quite keen to preserve the finish on the inside. So put a gloss coat on, it's going to
Isn't it X13?
Yeah, ish.
Have a look at his build, because he's put a lot of work into getting this weird, like, two-tone.
Honestly, Keith, don't worry. I want to see it. It's going to be closed up.
It
It's
was a clear
B17.
lacquer over. It was a clear lacquer over the metallic one, over the metal part. So,
Yeah.
as I understand it, so you sort of see the sheen of the metal through the clear lacquer, as opposed to being a solid
Yeah, because as soon as
paint.
sealer coats on, it's going to start shifting colour tones all over the place, isn't it? I'd be happy to put enamels over without a sealer coat. But if oil paints over anything enamel, it's not going to do any harm, is it?
Right, Graham says, I primed my kit and it looked great, but when I put on the gloss white, I have a few marks that didn't show up in primer. Should I lightly sand and respray? Matt's always saying about this. Go on, tell him, Matt. Sorry. Got him.
Every time. Give me a bit of warning.
I just did.
And you know what I was Googling then? X13.
Right, okay. I primed my kit, it's looking great, but when I put on the gloss white, he's got a few marks that didn't show up in primer. Should I lightly sand and respray?
You should lightly sand and polish.
Yes.
As long as they don't go black, because the thing with white is, when you get bits of rubbish in your thing, when you flatten back, you always seem to get black dots. They're never white. Do you know what I mean? So if that's the case, then you might have to respray it. But otherwise, no, just take the top off and get a polishing stick on it. You'll be fine.
Yeah, because that's what Matt often says about it. You get a lot of people and they're stripping back, and he's like, no, just flatten it back off, polish it up, or just respray it, so don't worry about it. But honestly, if you've got a few marks in it, don't be frightened to think, right, I'm just going to give it a light sand, get rid of it. Even if you've got hairs and things in there, just sand the area, get rid of it, and then go again, and you'll be absolutely fine. It's not a biggie at all.
Yeah.
Okay, you can go back now, Matt. You're fine. Okay, Pete
Can I
says...
just get one out of chat before we go any further? This is not really a question, just someone asking is when is the next auction? And we've just been talking about it, haven't we? And it's just soon-ish.
Yeah, no, it's not like soon as in next couple of weeks, but we are working to get things back on track with that, aren't we?
Yes.
To be honest, me and Matt just had a chat over the back of a beer mat earlier, and that was what it came up from. We were saying we need to get them back on track. So that's as far as the organisation's gone with that one at the moment. But I think, yeah, now we know the post is working, because that was the major challenge, wasn't it? We could do an auction and then trying to get it out afterwards be a nightmare. But obviously this first one is going to be Nathan's, basically.
Yep.
Like that. It got cold, didn't it?
Yes. So, but we will get it back within the next month or so. We'll try and get it back up. And now, originally we can't do it because obviously with social distancing and stuff like that. But also the big thing would be, even if we had all the kits out of the unit, we couldn't have got them out to you once you bought them. So because of obviously with couriers and things as they are at the moment. But hopefully now that's getting back to normal, we can sort it out.
Yeah.
Okay, Pete says, I have a question regarding Hataka red box sets. I'm currently using the red colour box sets for my US Air Force modern jets, i.e. F-15s and the like. However, I have some real problems. I'm mixing the acrylics with Hataka acrylic thinners and spraying with my HNS Ultra. The paint seems to be drying pretty rapidly inside the airbrush nozzle and starting to clog. Despite clog and disrupt the spraying. What am I doing wrong?
Nothing, just get some flow improver.
Yeah, you need a flow improver, like a retarder for acrylics. One drop of that, you'd be absolutely fine. Do they do their own version of it?
No, I use Vallejo's, but you can get Winsor & Newtons. Everybody get their flow improvers out, please.
Yeah.
Lasts forever as well. Only a drop. Mine's like PVA glue.
I've got Tamiya or Winsor & Newton.
Yeah, I've got the same as Andy. Yeah.
Here's mine then.
Or switch to lacquers and you'll never have that problem again.
Yeah.
There you go.
There you go.
Yeah, or Vallejo.
Vallejo airbrush flow improver. So yeah, any of them, and a couple of drops, and you'll be well away. It does cure the problem. Sorry.
That's the key weakness with acrylics is the tip dry and the dry, and they do start spitting after about a minute or two. It starts to go.
Yeah.
Sticky,
It's that stoppy start. I must admit, it's the only thing now is that I was always so used to doing that thing of blowing out your airbrush every couple of minutes. So when you're spraying, you'd have a bit of paper next to you, it's absolutely covered. It's like 10 quid's worth of paint on that, where you just every now and again just to keep it going, even if it was fine, because you knew it was going to do it in a minute, and then you're like, okay, keep going. But as I say, now I move to lacquers, I just don't stop ever. That's it. You're on a roll. I'm just going to go start to finish without stopping.
Right, just a thing here, look. The medium is to improve the flow and delay the drying of the paint on the needle, yeah. We recommend adding 1 to 2 drops of flow improver to 10 drops of paint in the cup of the airbrush. Well, I wouldn't do that because I'd mix it out of the airbrush, but you know what I mean. So 1 to 2 drops to 10 drops of paint. That's what they recommend. That's with the Vallejo one, so I presume the others are going to be the same. So you just have to estimate it, obviously, from how much paint you mix in, how much flow improver you put in it. But yeah.
Yes.
That's more than I thought.
That's right.
Before, did you say?
That's more than I thought. I don't put anywhere near that much retarder in. I just put 1 or 2 drops total.
No, yeah.
That's how thin you paint is.
Let's be honest. How many of us really pay attention to mixing ratios?
Well, that's it. Not at all.
Seriously. See, not one of you do it, do you?
No. Okay, Steve says, question for Nathan is, what's the last part of the Tornado build this morning, and saw you used foil for the seat belts.
Yes.
How did you make the belts, and what foil did you use? I liked the look. Thanks, Steve.
I need to find it. I'm afraid it was just... I don't know the brand. It just came from an art shop, and it's just literally self-adhesive foil like that.
It's pinstriping.
Yeah, it's just like... I need to go back to Fred Aldous in Manchester where I bought it from, see if I can find it on their website. And it just peels off.
Yeah, I've got that, and I've got it in copper and silver and something else, actually.
You can get it off Amazon.
Yeah, do you know what? I think that's where mine actually came from, to be honest.
Just lay it on the bench and slice it with a scalpel. It's self-adhesive. It obviously goes. It just done the F-16 seats in it as well. With it being silver, for buckles, you can just scrape off a bit of the paint and you keep your silver buckles.
Good idea, that, isn't it?
I think I've nicked it from things, but yeah, I've got the coppery stuff as well and cleary stuff. But I'm sure I got mine off of Amazon. It comes in like a set.
I bet John uses the finest sort of foil you get on top of a bottle of Prosecco, don't you, John?
We've had a...
I have used wine caps.
Yeah,
For
yeah.
wine cap.
The lead foil you get on top of the bottles and that.
Yeah.
I'm going to cause an international incident now.
Right, put him off.
Because I use
What, cash?
a $1 note, American. If it cut strips off the edge of it, and the actual texture of it, and the way it sort of like folds and crinkles.
And clearly, is that illegal to deface money? Because if that was like a £5 note, we could shoot you.
Yeah, but we're not in America, so.
Well, they might come over here.
But honestly,
Can I just say something, Andy? You've obviously not made many seatbelts.
this
He's done it once.
one I've used.
In fact, he's got about 1,000 of them under his bed, but he's just taken a bit off of each in case he needs the money.
It's amazing how little you actually use them off an edge. Do you know what I mean? It's sort of like it does go a long way. And that's.
How did you come across using dollar bills as a?
I saw it somewhere on some video somewhere years ago, and I thought, oh crikey, that's a good idea, because it's
Right,
something about something, because it's strong because of what it's made out of, and the texture of it, and just like the way you can crinkle it and manipulate it. It just really is.
So it's no good to English people and Canadians, because last time I was in Canada, they got the plastic money. like we've got now.
Yeah, that was a rubbish, aren't they? Sorry, John, what were you saying?
So when you saw that tip, did you immediately go out and get a $5,000 holiday to the States just so you could get a $1 note?
Yeah.
No, I've got a couple for some reason. I don't know why, but
No. There's a question before we move on too far, going back to these retarders. Are you okay to put that Tamiya retarder in a redline acrylic?
Only the one he's got.
Yeah, only the acrylic one, because they do 2 types of retarder.
So be careful with the
They
Tamiya
do a
one.
lacquer retarder, don't they? And
Yeah, the blue top is the lacquer one. You can't use that.
yeah,
Not in a pure acrylic anyway. It works fine with XFs and whatever. But
So
yeah,
that one, paint retarder acrylic.
that's
Yes.
perfect. Yeah, that'd be perfect for it.
It just
Yeah.
came up in the chat, so I thought it
Just before everybody rushes off, you can't get that in the UK.
no.
So it's not something we can stock either because they don't import that.
some of our American members are going to start selling dollar bills for about $5, aren't they?
Yeah, like seatbelts.
Okay, Clive says, should I or shouldn't I? Thanks for the shows. Just watching the show and the group build with the South American theme. Just realised that I have an A4P that came with the Dogs Fight double set. That only bought that set as a way to get the 72nd Harrier. Is 2 weeks enough time to get it done as an Argentinian A4P? Yeah, go on, Clive, get going with it. You'll be fine.
I did mine on the turkey shoot.
You should. Yeah, that's it. Nath did it on the turkey
Yeah.
shoot, which is only 3 days.
Yeah.
So
Look,
yes.
yeah, apart from the intakes, whatever intakes we find.
Okay, this will be one for Matt, clearly, but it is a question for the team. What's the oldest paint in your stash
Everyone
that
starts.
you've revived and used? That's the difference.
Oh God. Well, Humbrolls will survive a nuclear winter.
Yeah, well, I was saying, somebody messaged me the other day, I don't know if you remember or not, and you were talking about it, that he's had it now sit for years. Would it be okay still to use? And I did say they are the cockroach of paints. So as long as you mix it properly, it should be fine. If they were sealed, you'll be all right. If it's got that oily stuff on top, you'll be all right. If it's dried out, no. But yes, so go on then. Rough age of your paints?
40-year-old, my Airfix at least.
Yeah.
And they are usable. I've not used them, but they are. I can tell you
Yeah.
can tell they're not dried out, and obviously they're enamel, so they are, again, down the cockroach route. But yeah, you could use them, and they've got to be touching 40-year-old. I'd say.
I think mine are a couple of decades old. I've got some of the old Humbrolls before they moved production to China. I know they've moved it back again now, but that must have put them back at least 20 years. But
I've got some old Tamiyas that must be 20 years old. I've got some of the big jars of Tamiyas as well. And I've also got some Games Workshop old ones with the black flip lids on and hexagonal bottles, I think they were.
Yeah, I've got some of those.
Yeah, got some of those. They must be sort of similar sort of age as well, but always I can think of.
John can have some in there.
Yeah,
doesn't
but
he?
these ones.
Yeah.
That's it, yeah, those
Yeah.
things, yeah.
Yeah. That's probably the oldest I've got then.
Yeah, to be honest, I haven't, because, as I say, many years ago I had a torrid time and got rid of everything. But that's what happens when you get divorced. Right, okay, so Kevin says Humbrol appears to be about to be selling 14mm dropper bottles of their acrylic range. This came from the NHS scheme competition page. Ooh, and they've got a thing up about it. Yes, it does say the wonderful entry of James, new feature with our new 14mm, milliliter even, acrylic dropper bottles. The NHS charities together with the rainbow colour set.
Yeah. Because that replaces their old bottles, which are not so good.
Yeah, but what about the paint inside them?
I was going to say the paint ain't changed. It's still going to be crap.
These ones have got these like.
You might as well just use emulsion. That's what it's like. Poster paint.
It is like it's like school craft paint. Like they're all right for little tiny little bits of work inside cockpits, but maybe they'll change the formula because that stuff, getting that out of a dropper bottle, you have to squeeze pretty hard.
Yeah, can you imagine it? Yeah. In the vice, comes out like 40-year-old Colgate. That's not going to go down well. Okay, Michael says, gentlemen, I'd really like to know how you go about organising your spare parts. Do you keep your spare parts for all your builds, or do you pick and choose based on future use? Do you keep them on the sprues or cut them off the sprues? And also, I also asked this in chat. All right, okay, well, we don't have to see it in chat. Right, okay, quick round the house. Nathan, oh, sorry, wrong one. Nathan uses plastic bags.
Oh, I've got boxes if it's tornadoes. We've got so many, but I usually just bag them up and then put to one side.
Yeah.
I don't keep like literally everything, but this has got weapons in it mainly. But yeah, you never know when you need your little bits, do you? So
well, this is it. Keep everything. Andy?
I used to at one time keep pretty much everything, but then I've got carrier bags full of spare parts up in the loft. Now I just keep things like weapons and so like bits that I think will be useful for a future build rather than like everything. But yeah, I've got that many spare parts lying around. It's untrue. Over decades and decades of doing it.
That is the thing. Tons of it. John, what about you?
It's funny because I think me and Matt was talking about this the other day.
Yes, we were.
No, I don't, because I used to, and you just have. I had boxes and boxes of spare parts, and you never go through it all trying to find one particular bit that you want. So if I have got a small tub, but it's just weapons and Russian weapons at that, that's it. Anything else I spare is just bin.
Yeah. Matt,
unless you're scratch building, I just don't see the point of it.
Yeah, true. Matt, what about you? Wrong one.
Yeah. If it's none of the aircraft stuff I've built, I've kept that gets binned. Weapons, everything, I don't bother. The only spares really I do keep is sort of parts of figures. So obviously Dr. Frankenstein here might need them.
Yes.
But it's like more dioramery stuff for bases, like just odds and sods really off sprues. But no, not really, not in that case. Just bits of figures.
True. For me, again, I've got a couple of big boxes. You've seen when I've done my tours that I've got a big box from a fencer up there. That's got all my Russian stuff in it. And again, I only tend to keep weapons, if I'm honest. I've got an F-16 up there, though, that does happen to have a load of F-16 spares. Mainly 32nd, admittedly. But I've got different intakes and nozzles and stuff, because they're always handy, in case you need a different version of. And then behind me down in here, I've got my sort of aftermarket, but also it's got other bits in there as well, stuff that comes in handy. And like my scratch building stuff, I keep a lot of tubs, like I was saying. I always keep my offcuts. So these are all either just, literally the trees from resin, but also spares and bits and pieces. Got various things in there. We got pylons for something, wheels and stuff. And I tend to keep all of those because, again, it may be just one of those things. I said, Andrew, the scratch building. And stuff, but generally, like all my sprue, I'm being very good at recycling these days. I've got a tub now just down on the other side behind me monitor there, and all my sprues go into it because now it goes out for recycling. So that's fine for that type of thing, but I don't tend to keep like I used to. Again, used to keep everything. Now, I think because there's so much going on, I don't tend to keep parts like I used to. But weapons are handy. Trumpeter weapons used to be really ropey and just bin them off, but sometimes you get things in kits like Russian stuff in the Edard type kits and stuff like that. You get tons of them, so it seems a crying shame to throw them away, so I tend to keep all of those and stuff like that.
But I think nowadays there's so much aftermarket anyway.
Yeah.
That it's not like the old days where there was barely anything aftermarket wise.
I mean, I finished building this F-16 and I've got a box full of bits.
Yeah.
But I sometimes use the sprues I chop them up for paint stirrers.
Yeah.
But
the problem is, just like you said, just end up with boxes. Instead of having boxes of kits, you end up with boxes of spare parts, don't you? Just never go through. You get through your stash.
There's more plastic in here than like 1072 scale kits, and I've finished.
Okay, so Paul says, hi guys, I'm about to start the Revel 32nd scale Tornado 31 scale Gold Star kit. I'm doing from the 80s camos. What would you advise as the best colour primer to use, or doesn't it really matter? I want this kit as good as I can, as it was for an RAF Bruggen with these guys in the 80s. It's going to be wraparound camo then, isn't it? So you're going to be the grey-green wraparound, so I don't think it matters really, just your standard grey primer and away you go.
Definitely. Yeah. Something like XF19-ish.
Yeah, just a mid-grey, isn't it? Because it's just easy to go over right the way round. But as I say, it's nothing flashy. Green and greys and stuff, they'll cover anything. It's, really the only time you might want to look at doing lighter, like white as primer, as if we were saying, it's yellows, reds, oranges, isn't it? Day glow colours. That you don't want to put down dark greys and stuff, because it takes a lot to get that colour back. And obviously blacks and stuff, technically I only use it for silvers and stuff, just to see really where you're going. It makes it easier to see, because if you go over a light camo with silvers, light primer with silvers, it's difficult to see where you've been. So it's more a case of seeing where you are than anything else.
I was about to say, I sometimes think people overthink primers. To be honest, just a grey primer is a neutral enough colour for nearly everything. Like you've just said, if you're going obviously red or yellow or colours like that, white primer, because then that makes the colour pop. But really, grey primer is just a standard for, especially with camos and all stuff like that. Just a nice neutral grey.
It is, it's just neutral grey, isn't it? It's a neutral colour, so it's not going to be hard to overcoat, and it'd be nice that you can see easily as well, because a lot of thing with primers as well, especially if you're doing camos, if you're doing obviously a mid-80s sort of Tonka, they are the grey and the green, isn't it? So you're going to be using though a different shade of grey probably than your primer is, so you can see that nice and easy. But putting the green over the grey, it's easy to see. So where you're going with it as well.
Yeah.
Okay, Brett says, hello guys, from Texas. You mentioned yesterday that Zukumori was releasing the F4E. Do we have a date? Also, I hope they do the G version as well. There's a lot of Gulf War schemes for that one. Thanks for the live shows. Do you know what, Brett? You're on my wavelength, because I was thinking I probably wouldn't do an E, but I would do the G in the Hill camo scheme, so I quite like that camo.
Well, the rumour was that they were doing the E, then the EJ, and the G. So now they've definitely bought out the E, or bringing out the E. So it makes sense. Now the long nose is out, that they'll do the others anyway, isn't it? So there's, I think it was on the roadmap for them to do the EJ and the G. So
I think we're looking September was the date I've got. It's in my little book that I had yesterday. I think it's like we're due them at the end of September, probably beginning of October.
Yeah.
I was told, all being well, so
End of the summer.
Yeah.
Whenever that is. We still in lockdown.
Where's summer gone?
Yeah, it's been raining today. It's been like autumn here.
It's been awful.
Proper biblical here at some point. It's been
starts again on Sunday.
Okay. Yannick says, hi guys. Thanks for your continued shows. Working at sea and working at sea and in onboard lockdown. That's a different way. You're stuck on a ship with it. So loving some of the modelling distractions. Question, which metal paint would you recommend for paint brushing small details? I have some wiring wingnut wing engines I need to detail. To be honest, the Tamiya stuff lacquer is beautiful for it, because it flows and it's just really nice. You've got the super metallics as well, they're really very nice for it as well, because they go down and they sort of self-level and sort themselves out. To be honest, I don't know if you can see it, but I hand painted all of the metally bits in these. We were talking about these. So these are my bits. So this is all with the super metallics on these. And that, to be honest, that there is Tamiya X LP11 on that one. So it's great. It's a really, really nice paint. And to be honest, I'll say about it, this was sprayed originally, but I've done loads of touch-ups because, to be honest, I screwed it up. So I hand painted it. So I've gone around and touched it up, but you can't even see it. It dries very, very nice and levels out. So yeah, more than happy with that. Works a treat.
So you've got that in the aircraft. It's nice on its own, that. Can you
Yeah,
make a
I
little
know.
stand for it?
Yeah, need a little stand, isn't it? Stick him on a
Like
stand.
what you showed earlier.
Yeah, like the video of the guy shooting it. I know, brilliant. So, but yeah, you know, again, I don't know, you guys, any particular ones? I used to like Citadels for hand painting if you want to do more acrylics.
Yeah.
Citadel, it's a bugger to get hold of, but the Tamiya enamels,
Yeah.
Yeah.
really, you can get them on eBay from, you usually come out of Taiwan or Hong Kong. They brush,
Citadels used to, was it the lead belcher and the
Yes.
just like
Mithril silver.
yes,
Mithril silver, wasn't it? Was like Ali.
what is it called now?
that lead belcher or the Mithril silver?
That's
Right.
bolt gun metal, that.
Bogle
Yeah.
metal, that's another one, yeah.
You've got Rune Fang Steel.
Ah, yeah.
I've got them here, right? These are the new ones, I think. Mithril Silver.
Yeah, that's good.
Is it bolt gun?
Yeah, you can't get that now. They changed the formula and they changed the names, and it's not the same.
Iron Breaker.
Did you actually walk into a Games Workshop place and get them, or did you get them online?
You can do that.
I think he used to sell them. I think I got these from Halifax Modelers World.
Oh, right, I was going to say, I'm surprised you made it out if you walked into a Games Workshop without, you know, getting lynched.
The main Games Workshop place is Nottingham, Phil. Next time you're over this way, we'll have to
Throw someone in the door as we're passing, just
It's
chuck
massive,
someone in,
isn't it?
and we can watch them screaming at the window trying to get out. Bloody
it's a
nails
massive-
as they're scraping to escape.
it's a massive place. They've got like, it's huge.
It's a
I'll go
job
there one day.
to out that set of Space Marines, though. Crikey.
Yeah.
Before you know, you've been in there 12 years. Help. Can't get out.
3 hours and you've got out with 60 quid worth of Space Marines.
Look what you never knew you wanted.
I reckon that the Citadel colours are a good shout for brush painting.
Yeah, I think because I always used to. I haven't got any now, but I used to have the full set of all the metallics for hand painting. They were fantastic for it.
Yeah.
Scale 75 gets a vote on the chat.
Yeah.
Oh, it's moving, but yeah. I really like. I reckon you should give it a go. Get one of the Tamiya enamels from eBay as well. They're really good.
Okay, Mark says, because we're running over a bit today, hi Phil and team, just a quick test using Tamiya's LP70 gloss aluminium and LP38 base coat was black. First pick is the LP38, then the LP70, hold on, let me show, with self-leveling thinners.
Oh, I like these.
On a Lightning, LP17 gave the best result. So, to be honest, it's a nightmare trying to photograph and film like I do metals, because they never look as good. You look at them in by, like you guys have said, my Gladiator looks pretty smart, doesn't it?
Yeah.
But on camera, it's awful. It just doesn't look anything on camera. It looks so much better in real life. But yes.
Well, you've got a tin of LP38 coming because it's in with that stuff that should be
right.
with
Yeah,
tomorrow.
cool.
Because you asked for one, didn't you?
Yes, we were going to, because everyone's telling me it's brilliant. So we're like, right, okay, we'll give it a shout.
I'll give Keith credit for a tip on this. If you take the Tamiya LP paints, spray some panels with rapid thinner and then some panels with self-leveling thinner, you get a nice variation.
Yeah.
I was going to say, I've never tried it, but I know a lot of people are saying that metallics thin with rapid thinner is meant to be really good.
Yeah. I must admit, I was going to try it on the Gladiator, but then I bottled out because we were to that stage where I should have tried it on Buster or something, but I went with leveling thinner with the Gladiator, and it worked beautifully with that.
Can I just say something? You know, when you do bare metal finish or silver finishes or whatever, Do you get to that point, when you've sprayed it and it's all nice and finger and you can't weather it? Because it looks too nice.
It looks too nice, I know.
I can't weather this because it's just silver. I had it with my lightning, that I've got painted it, and I was going to weather it and all that, and you just put it on, and that was 8K. It's just, I can't weather it. I don't know.
It does seem criminal. It's a bit like this B17. Obviously, I want this one to be like a showbird, so it's going to be very shiny. That's the whole point to it, as if it's polished. And then obviously we'll pick out panels, but it's all going to be really shiny. And then it's going to be a case of like, what am I going to do to it? Because it will need weathering, but I do know I'll be to that realm of like, perhaps we'll hold fire a little bit or something with it. So, yeah.
I get to that stage if I'm going to do a metal colour on it, and you've done your gloss black, and then you look at it in gloss black, you think, that looks really nice.
It does look really
Well, it's what we were saying about this. It looks great. And we should carry on and do the rest of it, because it actually looks really smart in gloss black.
I don't want to paint it then. It's a nice gloss black. It looks...
Yeah. Yes, we were talking about glossing yesterday. Okay, question for Nathan. Which would you say gives the best reference book for a BF 109, especially for the G10? Also, in your opinion, with SWAT stickers, with SWAT stickers in the SIG and group build, is it okay to have photos of them afterwards? Well, look, I can answer the second one. This is for Toby. Yes, you can put SWAT stickers on, and we have no problem with that. Again, I know I don't, so some people think I don't allow it. It's got nothing to do with it. You can put what you like on it. It's just from my point of view. Obviously, my videos go worldwide and stuff like that, and so does a lot of the images. So it just stops people moaning and complaining and stuff like that. So, as far as I'm concerned, it's a historical thing. Nothing to do with what it stands for,
He's off to find his book.
He's off now. He'll be back later.
Just disappeared.
You'll hear a crash in a minute and this huge...
No, not too bad. I've got it.
He's got it.
We're all also in the Luftwaffe SIG display shows and things. And all the aircraft there have got swastikas for shows and stuff. So
most do, don't they? I mean, the 109 is... I still think just for a general primer on... These books are quite good. I mean, this one's a bit out of date. I think they've updated it. But this is the SAM Publications Modelers data file. And what's really nice about this book is it has got a few cockpit shots from museums.
Mm-hmm.
Got pages like that. It's got lots of colour profiles. But what's really confuses the hell out of me, I can't find it now. It's got a guide to all the different versions, so it takes you through all the G8s and the G6s and the G this and the G the other. But the 109 is lacking in a bang up to date reference book, to be honest. But I'd give, you can get it used. Should be able to pick it up for about a tenner. But I think it's quite good. I mean, the model builds in it are a little bit out of date now. That's the problem with any book. As soon as it's printed, it's out of date. But it's got enough to get most questions answered.
Yes.
To be honest, this book. I mean, it's not going to go mega deep because obviously it's a single volume. But this does the F to the K. It covers the late war ones. But don't forget, there's on Facebook. There's a 109 SIG now from the IPMS. And they've got 2 Facebook groups as well. So I'd first put a call to join there.
Was that Ivan's?
Is that Ivan's?
Ivan's running the 109 SIG for the IPMS. So I'd drop them a line and just get a second opinion and see what they say.
Yeah.
Okay, so hold on, we've had that question before. Hold on, it looks like Brett's posted twice. Okay. Michael says, great shows. Do you know when you have the dark dirt wash back in stock? To be honest, we are waiting on clay. I was told last week I would get it on Friday. Then I was told I was getting it on Monday. Spoken to my said supplier, who's actually in the Netherlands, and they haven't even shipped it yet. So I'm now being told it's going to be next week. But then I've got to make it and all the rest of it. But hopefully the sanders will be in tomorrow, or some of them. I've got a couple of thousand coming in tomorrow, then the rest of them will follow in dribs and drabs to the end of the month. So, but the main one we're out of hopefully will be here tomorrow, because it actually got shipped this afternoon, which is exciting. So for once we're going to have medium sanders back in stock. So we've got an initial stock of those coming through. I'll get them made up over the weekend. They'll be on sale next week. And then obviously we've got more sanders coming in. So the ones that are about, they'll be coming back in as well as make our way through. So big one with that. Okay, hi guys, is Steve okay? Not seen him for a while. Be honest with you guys, I haven't seen Steve either. Spoke to him 8 days ago and have had hide nor hair of him. So, whatever. Rob says, question for Mr. Ball, paint guru. That's it. Matt, you're up. Get on your phone. You're on. You're the paint guru now. You can take over Armour God if you like as well. No. You can have all the sections now. Armour God, paint guru, sanding expert, figure painter. That's it. That's your side of things. Okay, so Tamiya lacquer paints, do they cover the whole range of colours like the acrylic range? Well, the acrylic range doesn't even do that. I've used LP47 and it's like night and day. Acrylics are getting on. Acrylics are getting on my king nerves.
Yeah,
Really?
can relate.
No. In answer to the question, no, it's not a direct sort of comparison to the XF range. There's certain colours that cross over, but not all of them. So a lot of them are car-related colours, especially down the middle bits. But they do some unique colours to the LP range that they don't do on the XF range as well, because of the ghost grey, don't they? Both of them, and insignia white and some more specialised colours, where the XF ranges are just a bit of a hybrid of all sorts, I think, isn't it, really? There's nothing,
like we said, we think what they've done as well is they've discontinued a lot of their aerosol range, and they're now available in these. So it looks like they've sort of got rid of some of those and transferred in. But when the initial series got released, you could see a lot of them were vehicle colours, down that line of it. So it looked like that's what Tamiya was putting those out. But they have been adding to the range, haven't they? Because originally they only released 15, and then it went to 30 about a couple of months afterwards, and now we're up to 70, isn't it? Yeah.
I think because there's 2 new colours coming out, which is the Africa Core colours at some point soon, and I think that takes it up to about 74 colours.
Yeah.
Like I said, a lot of them are the Armour colours as well, so it's a bit of a crossover, but not a full one.
Yeah. And also, going on the other one, PS, he's now got the drop ship from Peter in Oz for 150, so you can stick your 500 quid.
My thoughts. That was a bargain.
Yeah, so did I.
It won't be so bad if you even had one for sale.
Okay, Jeff says, I've just got some Mr. Colour GX UV Cut Clear. What do you thin it with? And do I need to overcoat with anything before using oils?
There you go.
You don't have any thinners?
Yeah.
And no, you don't. You can just go straight over it with oils, because that's enamel based.
Yes.
You'll be fine.
You'll be fine on that one.
To be honest, that stuff dries like bloody concrete anyway. Once it's gone off that clear coat, it's rock on.
Yeah, it does. Okay, and last up we've got Mark, who's saying, "Hi Phil, had taking a video show. It's a lot better, but couldn't post it. We'll try using a gloss black on the next test."
I think it's the lightning.
Oh right, okay, no, yes. No, it'd be interesting to see, but say that they are a nightmare for taking photos of. To be honest. They they are not easy at all. Cool, very good. Right, are we sorted then? Because we've sort of gone a little bit over the top. So yes, very good. Hold on, look, we've got Nathan off of one side as well. I need to squeeze him in somehow. Don't know how to get him in. Hold on. There we go. Oh no, now look, there you go.
Like he's peeping over a wall.
It is, isn't it? It's like, what
Just
no?
put your hands up there, Nathan.
Yeah, that's it.
That's it.
What no on that one? Right, there we go then, guys. So from my point of view, you're going to get the next part of this up with you tomorrow. It should have gone up today, but I got caught up with other stuff. So that will be up with you tomorrow on that one. Obviously, you'll be on in the afternoon as well with those. I've been working on these. You can see the little turrets for the B-17. So the B-17 is back on track, coming along. Hopefully, I don't know if I'll get it done tomorrow, but over the weekend, we'll get this thing primed up as well. So this is looking good. The wings are fully attached now and all the bits and pieces. So that's coming along very, very nicely. So one of them's got to give, because if they've both got their wings on, I've got no room. I won't be able to swing even the dog round here or anything else. It'll be a little bit tight for doing that, but yes, should be good. And obviously, don't forget, we'll be on in the afternoon. And you say, if you want to put your photos up for the gallery to be seen, make sure they're up nice and early, because I'll be doing them probably first thing in the morning as we make our way through. So thank you very much for joining me this afternoon and evening, gentlemen.
No problem.
As always, it's a pleasure.
Hey.
Thank you to everybody in live chat for joining us. Yes, Keith, there is a show on Saturday night. We will be on at 7 again. And again. And then again and again, and we'll be here forevermore until we go. Right, that's it from us then. Thank you. Cheers. We'll see you later. Bye.
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 Bye.